All right, greetings to the 12 tribes of Yasharala that are scattered to the four corners of the world. I am back with another video. And this first video, I plan on making two videos today, you all, and prayerfully I post them because this is about the third or maybe fourth video that I've made since my previous video about um doing away or tossing, giving the New Testament the boot. And so, one thing that I realized is that I wouldn't say I was depressed, but I was going through something. I was dealing with something emotionally. Um, and, there was a weight uh, on me. And then I tried to draw back. I tried to reserve. I felt like I felt like I had failed. I felt like I had failed the Father, that I failed my Father in heaven, the most high power, a higher um because he had been trying to show me this so long, and I just don't I do know. I was about to say I don't understand why I just wasn't catching on, but it's like when he gave me his name, nobody, I didn't see the name, like I didn't find the name in a book, I didn't find the name online. He personally gave me his name. Why? Because I was seeking it out, because I was searching for him and I was calling him all these pagan names. So he gave me his name. But once it, and in the dream, it was only the name Ahia written with an underline. And I immediately said, well, what's the son's name? And they looked at me like, and they looked at each other. But um, when you start looking up the name Ahia, it automatically links it with the son. And so I really didn't, it's hard. It's hard when you're um trying to seek the truth because it's so much paganism ingrained in the truth. So you have to weave through it. And but yeah, I felt like, okay, I need to sit down. I need to learn over. I am not adequate uh to teach, but I know that teaching is my office. The Most High has called me to teach. He not only just as a teacher of his word, but like I said, teaching is my office. So like that's my ministry as far as teaching, being able to teach important to his young people. So like I said, this video is just going to be an update. I plan on following up with another video where we can compare and contrast some of the differences between the New Testament and the Old Testament. And I'm just gonna say it now blatantly. Um, the Most High has appointed me over kingdoms and over nations to root up, to pull down, to overthrow, to destroy, to build, and to plant. And so now it's time to tear down. It's time to tear down these this demonic adulterous new covenant, because if you look up the word testament in Hebrew, it means covenant. We are still under the old covenant until a higher raises up King David and establishes a new covenant with us. He said that's when he will establish a new covenant with us, and he will write his words in the tablet of our heart. Other than that, we should not have or participate in any other covenant. We're still under the covenant that the New Testament tells us is done away with. When the so-called savior of the New Testament, when he tells people to eat his flesh and drink his blood, he says directly in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, directly after they have communion or they eat the flesh and drink the blood, he says, "This is my new covenant with you all. This is a new covenant." What covenant is this? What covenant is this? We're still under the old covenant. So we're going to compare and contrast. And I look, all praise to the Most High that this is the great falling away. I know that a lot of people will look at myself and other people that have been teaching for years, saying, "Oh, that this is a part of the great falling away." Yeah, because they knew the jig was gonna be up one day. They knew that a higher was gonna allow us to be in this stupor, to be in this spirit of delusion, but then that he was gonna open our eyes one day, and they knew that it was gonna be a falling away. So I pray that the great falling away takes place and that my people around the world that Ahia has called to himself, that we wake up and that we come out and that we turn to him. Not only his bloodline people, those of us that were scattered, taken into slavery and sold throughout the four corners of the world, fulfilling Deuteronomy 28, but also those who he have called of the other nations, because there are other nations that love him and that are willing to serve him with their whole heart, and that are willing to put down the paganism and the idolatry of their nation that they may have been brought up in, that are willing to turn and lose it all and be forsaken from friends and family, and willing to lose everything you have. I told y'all I don't have nothing else to lose. I've lost everything. My husband of 30 years, my my children, my grandchildren, my house, my car. Like, I lost everything. I'm in a whole nother state by myself. And guess what? I told you all that it was tugging on me because I taught at a Hebrew academy, but since there was no Hebrew curriculum, they used a Christian-based curriculum that still used JC, but we were allowed to say the name, Ahia, and the name of of the son that we thought the Hebrew name was. And so which you all know, I told you all, Ahayasha, which still says that name means Ahaya, is salvation. A higher and a higher alone is salvation. It points back to a higher. So I thought that I was going to be able to finish the year out, but I couldn't do it. I could not do it. Probably 2 weeks after I made and posted the initial video, I had to vacate my job because it was just too much paganism. I was a chapel teacher. I was no longer teaching the New Testament. I was only teaching the Old Testament. Uh, and then there's stuff ingrained when you just see how much ingrained in the lessons of JC being the light of the world, and excuse me, all of these scriptures. It's just was so I could the Most High gave me a dream. You all know I'm a dreamer. And in the dream, I was at work, but I worked in a call center. And it was St. Patrick's Day, and the call center was having a big St. Patrick's celebration. Everything was green. Um, Everybody was dressed in their green. They had a big picture booth. That one of those picture booths with the props, the big glasses and hats and different props that you can take pictures with. And everyone was getting in the picture booth to take pictures. And they kept wanting me to participate. And I was the only one dressed in my regular attire. And I wasn't attempting to participate, but when they were nudging me to come take a group picture, saying, and I said, well, okay, I'm just gonna take the group picture and I'm not going to hold the props, or I'm not gonna do this and I'm not gonna do that. I Ahaya was showing me I couldn't be there. Um, and then he's also showing me this is not the time for me to draw back. I thought that, okay, well, once I um leave my job, that I can now focus on designing or creating a true Hebrew based curriculum and removing all the paganism, not only of the New Testament, but also all the stuff that they put in it as far as the fake history and the science and the planets and just all of this stuff. And that's what I thought. That's what I thought that the Most High wanted me to work on, because I know that I am supposed to design a curriculum. But right now, I think this is my first priority. Um, and he kind of, let me know that. So, you know, um, I am a willing vessel to whatever a highest will is for my life. Um, and right now, I am going to post videos and get back more active of posting videos and whatever else he may want me to do. I'm thinking about going live. I'm thinking about doing Bible studies. I'm thinking about doing a podcast. I'm thinking about all sorts of things. Maybe the first thing I'm thinking about this podcast, and I will start bringing people on that are Torah only and asking them what was their initial aha moment. Like, especially those of us that, you know, I've been ordained a minister since 2011, so for 15 years. Um, whew, it's crazy, y'all. But anyway, so what else did I want to say? Please reach out to me, highest anointed 2 at gmail.com. I would love to link up, y'all. Do you know how much faith it takes to I'm already separated from everything and everybody. And now I am in a city, I mean, in a state alone with no job. You know, but I know that the Most High is going to make a way. Um, I've never seen the righteous forsaken nor his seed begging bread. Okay. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I can't think of anything else that I want to say right now, and then I'll go ahead and make the next video. All right. At this time, you all have a wonderful day. Shalom. Until the next video, shalom.